What's up, guys? It's Mama Deadhead, and I am back with another Team Build Tuesday. So today, I wanted to talk to you guys about this Laurie. So I'm not going to go over the stash, what's in it, or what Laurie does, her stats, or anything like that. I wanted to talk to you guys about how to prepare to level her. So this is a concern I've seen in Lockdown Stream today. I saw it in a few of my line groups. I got messaged a couple times. A couple people commented on my videos, and people are really worried about the small window that we have to level her. So the first thing that I want to say is it's definitely possible. I've done this in the past, and I believe that we have plenty of time. We have, the 28 days to save up all of our resources to level her this fast. So I've done this in the past. I've done it with Shiva. If you go back, you can actually see in my video history where I pulled her, and then the next day I ascended her into a 6-star. And it was because I basically, at that point, I was just saving for a faction level up. So when I got her, I had plenty of resources to go ahead and completely max her. And I was so excited to get her as a 6-star. So don't get discouraged when you see, oh, I only have 2 days to max her, because it really is possible. So don't get too down like, oh, I'm not going to be able to get her anyway. I'll just, get her as a 5-star ascendable, and I'll worry about that in the future. Because if you prepare right, I promise you really can level her that quickly. So the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to this Laurie is the fact that she is a citizen character. So you can see right here, persona, and it says citizen. So the importance of this, in case you're newer to the game, because I know that a lot of the concern is from newer people, and I made this mistake in the beginning. That's why I really want to highlight this. It doesn't matter, you can have all of the survivors saved up that you need, all the food saved up, and then it comes time and you don't have the gear, and you can be really stuck and not be able to get that collection. So in this case, you need camp stoves and you need briefcases. The one amazing positive change that I love about the maps, I know that I've been so incredibly petty, and I'm like, oh, they're squares, they're not circles anymore, which is the silliest thing to complain about. But a wonderful change that has happened to the maps is that you can now go in and see what stage has what. So we don't need the little picture references anymore. You can go in and actually see what you're going to get from each stage. So you can see that stage 5 is the camp stove. So even if, say, you don't finish this, I would go ahead and say complete it, but you only need to get to that stage 5 to get the camp stove. And then over here, it's a little bit harder to see, but stage 3 is the briefcase. I completed it today, so you can't really see it that well. But it's under there. See briefcase. So make sure that you have enough for actually, tier 3 and tier 4ing her, so that you can max her. So that you're not, at the last day and you're like, oh no, I forgot, I don't have enough camp stoves, or I don't have enough briefcases, because I've really done that in the past, folks. And it's definitely not a good feeling to know that you prepared and you were, really on your way to get it, and then you were just that close and missed out. So the next thing that I want to go over with you guys is this chart. And I'm going to put it on screen so you guys can see. And basically, this is the number of 2-stars that you're going to need to fully max a 5-star. So you can see that best case scenario, if you have, all citizen characters with her, you do 10 at a time, you're going to need 751. And you're going to need roughly 9.5 million food to accomplish this. So in my case, you can see I've went in and I've gone ahead and started some training camps with 2-star characters. Now, the one thing that I do want to say about my training camps is that I don't really care as much about making sure that it's a citizen trainer, just as long as I have enough. And typically, I go the route of trying to always have 2-stars in training camps, going 24/7, just so I have enough resources for any level up that comes around, or if I get a certain character, just so that I have enough. In this case, I didn't, so I just went ahead and I started. I'm like, you know what? I need to start keeping up on my farming. I need to make sure that I have enough gloves and shirts. So right now I have this one going with 404 total, and then I have this one with 705 total. So I think that if I keep up this amount at least and keep replacing as I keep getting them, that I'll definitely have enough when Laurie comes around. So it's not going to be that big of an issue for me. But if you're going to go the route of using shirts and gloves in like 2 separate training camps, you're going to want to make sure that you start them about 4 to 5 days in advance, just to make sure that you give yourself enough time to get all of those survivors ready. You can see in here, this is the route I've gone. So I'm not going for citizen necessarily because it takes both shirts and gloves for it, and it takes more food. So I just went the route of going, cheaper on that so that I can have an abundance of them versus having to have like an even number for both and only having the one training camp going. So the next thing that I want to talk about is basically how to get all of those, and what I personally do is farm 7-1. And again, another positive change that's happened, you can go in and there are, certain stages that give certain types of gear, so you can go in and see which is good where. Again, I just stay with 7-1 or around this area because I tend to get more shirts and gloves for the amount of energy that I'm using. So that's always good. And again, I never let my energy fill unless, of course, it's nighttime and I'm asleep. I'm not saying like stay up 24/7 and play the game. Make sure that you get some sleep. But yeah, I never let my energy run out. If I'm awake, I try and keep something going at all times so that I never run out, so that I can get the maximum amount of resources. And in a situation like this, it's definitely important to do something similar to that. So another thing that I want to mention, you might not fully need, all of these 2 stars because you should be saving in other aspects of the game. Any, event where you can get trainers, one huge one is war. I would personally save all of your crates until this Laurie. If you're really concerned about not getting her, save all of them for Laurie. You can get tons and tons of Berts, and you don't need them taking up roster space, and you can just have them as like a kind of security net. So if you're worried about, and I'll put up the chart again, getting this many survivors, having Berts or getting Brady's or getting Basil's will help you greatly. So you can see in the stash, there are a couple trainers in here. You see 1 4-star and then some 3 stars down here. So it's always good to just keep those, hang on to those until you're going to need them for Laurie, because of course they're definitely going to help you more than a 2-star will. So the next thing that I want to talk about is probably going to be the most challenging for me, and it's the food. So if you go the route of, like all citizen, you're going to need the 19.5 million. I'll go ahead and put the chart up again. And that's going to take you about like roughly 29,000 gear tokens. So the important thing to remember about food is that you can store it in high replenish, which I'm doing right now because I took all of these out of my training camp. So I had a lot of food, as you can see, like a day in crafting right now. You can always sell your gear. So that's really going to be the route that I go. You can see over here that I have 3,300, so I'm getting kind of low. Again, this is another thing that you can get as a reward in war. I know that they've been in the past couple, not in the past one, but the one before that, they gave out quite a bit of gear tokens, which is always great because you can trade it in for so much food. So you can go over to gear, and one really extremely common thing that I sell is running shoes. So say that I just go ahead and do all of these. I love the fact that they've sped that up. I have 3 million food here. So that's wonderful. That's a good portion of what I'm going to have to use to level the Laurie with. And you don't need that many shoes. Typically, I keep 20 tops. Same with sunglasses. I keep around 20. And in a case like this, you're leveling up a Laurie, so you're not going to need, 50 pairs of sunglasses. So another really good thing to sell, if you have a lot of anything, you guys are going to see that I have a lot of gear. So I can go in, get rid of a lot of these bloody shirts. Just keep some of them out. So you can see, if I just go in with my gear and get all of these gear tokens, it's not going to be that hard for me. Now, I know that I'm different from a lot of people and I have a lot of gear, but if I would just go up and, you know, get rid of some of these, then I'm not going to have that hard of a time with getting the food for this. But just as an, you know, another way of doing things, you can sell your high replenish, you can sell any extra gear that you have, anything that's not needed for this Laurie is kind of up in the air because she's definitely more important. And if you're watching this video and you're trying to kind of get a grasp on how you're going to do this, definitely put all of the resources into her during those couple days, even if it's a level up. And you have all of these other tunes that you want to level, you want to score top 10 in an event, don't. Make sure that you're putting all of it into Laurie if you're that worried about it. Because, you know, coming in top 10, maybe getting a couple extra, like 5-star tokens, or getting a couple thousand extra 5-star tokens, or, you know, a couple extra Ulysses or Lilith, whatever the reward is not worth like giving up the 6-star Laurie that you can potentially get. So hopefully this video helped some of you guys out. If you have any other questions, please comment on this video and I promise I'll try my best to help you. I'm going to be live streaming Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time like always. So if you have any questions, of course, hop into the stream and I will do my best to answer them for you. I can probably do this a lot better live than I can in a video just because you can talk to me and I can really understand what issues you're having. So that's going to be it for this Team Build Tuesday. I really appreciate all of you guys watching this video. And like always, like and subscribe. Bye guys.